Hello, and welcome to another episode of Casing the Cover, the podcast where we look at the good, the bad, and the stupid of book covers.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Mary. And today instead of doing our regular, we look at a singular book format, we're going to be talking about book genres, specifically
Romance!
Yes, so we're going to be talking kind of about the tropes of romance covers.
And Mary thinks that she's got it all figured out with romance covers.
I do.
I am here to ruin her day.
Yes. So let's start here, Jen. What do you think of when you think of romance covers, titles, the genre in and of itself? What imagery do you get?
Sexy boys.
Sexy boys. Yeah, that's kind of the big one, isn't it?
Yeah, and when I say boys, I mean like actual grown men.
Yes.
I'm not a creeper.
Shirtless men.
Shirtless men.
They're with various
props. Amounts of various props. I was to say various amounts of body hair, but
yeah. Well, there's also, I think there's a big movement in romance fiction right now where it's the sexy man, but it's not just your typical Fabio-esque sexy man. It's sexy man in a kilt. Sexy man with a cowboy hat.
Yes.
Sexy man wearing a police vest. It's like the exact same kind of models, but they have props.
So it's essentially, let's take the Chippendales.
Yes.
And male burlesque dancers and the things that they do, and we're gonna screenshot them and put them on a book cover.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. I think that's kind of the generalized idea of romance I have as well. We kind of talked about this in our previous episode. We were talking about Hot and Badgered. If you haven't listened to that one, we had a lot of fun with that, so please go back. But, that was a cover where they put a very generic sexy man on the cover and then put, animal behind him to kind of invoke what the story is actually about.
So I have an interesting story just to kind of segue on this just for a moment. The romance writers of the Arizona chapter do a romance author convention.
Okay.
Every once in a while. It doesn't seem to be annually. I've gone to a couple of them. They're a lot of fun. There's a lot of wine. There's a lot of chocolate. There's a lot of talk about romance novels, obviously. And talking about how they choose the cover models for these. They actually have a contest at this event.
Why am I not surprised?
Where all of these beautiful, beautiful young men are there, and they're vying for your votes.
Oh my God.
In the most wonderful ways. You'll sit down and you'll suddenly have somebody giving you a shoulder rub. They will actually come rub your feet. They're just so sweet.
Personal space.
They bring they bring you drinks. They pretty much do whatever, just so that they get votes. Because it's totally a popularity contest.
Just out of general interest, how do you get invited to one of these?
I would be friends with some local romance authors.
No, how do I get invited to one of these?
You personally. Yes, I will see about us getting a place there, because I think that, our podcast could do a live show at one of those too.
Just ask all the sexy men to line up and maybe we'll get some more viewership.
Yeah, we'll have them talk about, their lifestyle as a cover model.
That would actually be very interesting.
Right? Totally. I'm not saying this just so we could look at them the whole time.
No. We would never do such a thing. So do you think that of the romance genre, that is the best way to get women to read your book, is just to put a half-naked man on the cover?
Well, to me, yeah, because what are we looking for when we're getting a romance novel? Women are looking, and I don't personally read a lot of romance novels.
Don't either.
But what the people are looking for when they read them is they're looking for a fantasy. They're looking for wish fulfillment. And much like comic books are male wish fulfillment, this is female wish fulfillment, which is why the guys aren't gigantically burly. They're usually more they're pretty. They're prettier. They're approachable.
Well, do you think that wish fulfillment also lends itself to the other kinds of romance novels, which are not so much the sexy romance novels, but the more quaint, sort of innocent romance novels? It's that kind of longing for that young love kind of a feeling? Because those are a big deal right now.
Honestly, I think that that's just all the people are not willing to admit that they got dirty, dirty minds.
So they read sexless sex books?
Yes. I don't know. Anyway,
So that's Jen's read of it. So we're gonna play a little game that we've set up here. So I have a theory about romance novels based on what I've seen in terms of what at least are categorized as romance novels in our place of work at our library. I feel that most, possibly not all, but most romance novels, their covers fit into what I would say are 3 different categories, all starting with S. So you have your sexy, your half-naked men covers.
Okay.
You have your sappy. So when we were talking about your Tesla novel with the release of the pigeon.
Yes.
The kind of heart-invoking, oh, she's finding love again after her world falls apart kind of novels.
Do these have to have people on the cover?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I think they usually don't.
Okay.
I think those are more of like your sad bird or your flower pot or your house on a hill kind of covers.
Okay.
And then there are the kind of innocent, or I would say the sweet romance novels, which are your Amish romances, your kind of like period pieces where it's like that kind of young, innocent love, but maybe not sex.
Okay.
The kind of prudy romance novels.
So then, but bodice rippers, as they call them.
Those are sexy.
Those are sexy.
Different category.
Because those don't just have the men on them. Those are sometimes the men and the women.
Right. And I'm talking more about like Pride and Prejudice, only someone modern wrote it and they're trying to be Pride and Prejudice with kind of the love story.
I'm so glad that you put Pride and Prejudice in romance novels.
Pride and Prejudice is a romance novel.
So many people are like, no, it's classic literature.
But it's a classic romance novel. It's a romance novel. But like kind of emulating that feel of like that kind of innocent love, but not like the sappy second chance.
Right.
Hardship love, just kind of young, innocent love kind of a thing.
Okay.
And I think most romance covers are made to invoke one of those kinds of book. And within them there's different categories, obviously. In sexy you have kilt men and cowboys and businessmen and badgers and you know, your sweet, like there's gonna be, you know, offsets of each of those, but I think majorly they fall into one of those 3. So what Jen has done...
And I just want you to know that I have a stack of books in front of me, and Mary has been side-eyeing them the entire time.
Yes, I'm kind of worried to see what she brought me.
Now she's getting nervous, because I haven't stopped smiling about it.
So Jen has brought me 5 quote-unquote romance novels from the shelves.
They're labeled romance novels.
And we're going to look at their covers and see if I can argue for why they fall into one of those categories I just laid out.
And then we're going to go into the whole, this is why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
That's true. Okay, so...
Are you ready for book number 1?
Let's look at book number 1. Tell me what it is and describe it for us.
Okay. I'm not even going to show it to you yet.
Oh my god.
Okay. The title is In the Barren Ground.
Sounds sappy.
Okay. And it has a woman on the cover. She is walking away into the distance. And there's trees and there's snow.
Oh, it's sappy. It's a sappy homicide. She's walking into the snow, but it's like a snowstorm. And the trees are like, they're scary trees.
They're ominous.
They're ominous.
And it's like tracks in the snow.
And barren is red. Like, wow, this sounded like a sappy. When you described it to me, you made it sound sappy. So this is a scary romance, a 4th category. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know this fits. What's okay?
See, it doesn't fit.
So is it, how is this a romance novel?
Montelake romance.
Oh my god. I don't even know what this is. This looks like a horror novel.
So do I win?
Well, you got 1 out of 5. You brought me 5. Let's see. Yeah, because you're right. I don't see anything on this that invokes any of those 3, except maybe that she looks kind of sad off in the distance.
She's not even facing us. She's walking away like she's gonna die.
So, okay.
Or that she just buried a body.
So maybe her spouse just died, and they had to bury him in the snow, and she's walking somberly away from his grave. Sappy. I'm gonna argue that it's sappy.
Humans are scarce, ferocious predators roaming freely. And the locals say spirits do too.
Ghost romance, sexy. It's sexy.
She's the sole police officer in 17,000 square miles. One bitter night, she gets a call about a fatal wolf mauling of 2 students. There is nothing about this.
How was this a romance?
I don't.
Is there anything in the
here
book
we go.
description about romance?
Here we go. When the macabre scene they uncover suggests violence and much more sinister than animals, Tana must trust Crash, who I assume is the love interest, if she wants to protect the town and herself from evil that lurks in the frozen dark. So she has to trust the love interest, but she's a cop and he's a cop, and this is not gonna fit in romance. Sorry.
No, okay, this is going in the no pile.
No pile.
Now, I am tempted to read it though to see how much romance is actually in this book and if it's just completely miscategorized.
I don't see. I might have found you another book.
Yeah.
Too. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, buried secrets.
Oh, it's mysterious. It's sultry. Sultry can be sexy.
It is the Harvest of Hope series.
That sounds Amish.
Okay, and there is a man on the cover.
Okay.
And there is a like a scenery also on the cover.
Okay.
All right. So here you go.
Okay, it is Amish. Harvest of Hope. This is a sappy or a sweet. It's one of those two.
At least they got a good font on this one. The last one had that.
Okay,
creepy
so
font.
it's got curly font.
Yes.
Which does invoke romance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's an Amish man looking wistfully into the sunset. I'm gonna say it's a sweet. I'm gonna say Harvest of Hope
Okay.
is a sweet, and I don't think you can argue against me on that.
The only thing is,
This is the only bonus she's gonna throw me the entire time once it happened.
and I picked this one because I'm like, well, it's got a band on the cover, but he's not sexy.
It's not sexy.
And he's not even looking at you.
No, but it can be that innocent romance kind of thing, like, oh, I love him, but he's over there, and looking at the chipped barn. No, the fact that, okay, it's wheat field with a sunset, it's curvy font, it's part of the Harvest of Hope series. This is an innocent, sweet romance. Her husband dies. Okay, it's a sappy. After her husband dies, Rose longs to be near her family, especially her twin sister Lillian. So she packs up her young son and leaves their life in Ohio to move back to Paradise, Pennsylvania. Luke Miller is ready to settle down in Paradise. He soon forms a partnership with Rose to help farm her land. He finds that he's enjoying the company of the quiet, modest widow, and she may be just the woman he's been waiting for. But Rose is hiding secrets beneath her reserved exterior, one that could keep her from having a future with Luke. And Rose isn't the only one concealing something. Luke has a secret of his own, and it could threaten their partnership and their chance at love. Okay, this is a romance novel.
Okay.
This is somewhere between. This is sappier than it is sweet.
Yes.
But it fits.
Okay.
That's a point for me.
All right, point for you.
I'm arguing that's a point for me.
But seeing it, it's still kind of.
But I understand like how this is part of that typical kind of romance. Like I said, it's somewhere between the sweet and the sappy.
Yeah.
The sunset.
Yeah.
The grain. I feel like, images of sweeping like field sides are very sappy.
So scenery.
Scenery
Your
is-
other S.
Scenery, but not like pretty scenery, like
And not barren snow.
forlorn. Yeah, not barren snow. That's scary. Snow is scary. Wheat is sappy. That's what we've established.
Yes, I feel that way about my lawn. Okay, so,
It doesn't snow.
no, but it's got domestic wheat.
Oh my god. You have a sappy lawn.
Okay, all right.
All right.
This chick, I gotta tell you, like, Sherilyn Kenyon. We
I
see a
recognize.
lot of
I
her.
recognize her.
Yeah. Okay. So because this one's kind of giveaway. There is no people on this cover,
Right.
but there is like a logo imagery. I don't know. Maybe it is called The Son of No One,
Okay.
and it's a dark hunter novel.
It's sexy,
It's got a dragon on the cover.
but it's a sexy dragon.
It's not a sexy
No, dragons are totally sexy.
It's a clip art dragon.
Dragons are primal and forceful, and it's got flame in the background, burning passion. It's a sexy book. Dark Hunter. It's a sexy book.
Yeah, but if you looked at this cover, are you going to think romance or are you going to think fantasy?
You're gonna think fantasy until you see Sherilyn Kenyon on it, and then you know it's a sexy book.
Which, by the way, this is her thing.
Sexy dragons.
No, like they all look like fantasy novels.
But they're sexy
They
fantasy
totally
novels?
throw me off because there are skulls, there are demons.
Have you read any of her books?
I haven't. I've flipped through them, but this is her MO. And if you look at her, like I'm sorry, and I'm not gonna bag on anybody, like this is not me bagging on her, but she totally looks like somebody who read like all of the YA fantasy novels as a kid.
And Anne Rice.
Like
and,
Anne Rice and all that, and she also writes a lot of fan fiction based on those characters having sex.
Yes. Well, and that's like this. And part of it, okay, this kind of gave away because I know I know this author. I know she writes romance. But if you were in a romance section and you looked at this would be sexy.
Yeah, but it would also throw you.
Yeah.
Like if this wasn't specifically labeled romance, I would put it in sci-fi or fantasy.
Yeah, because it's got a dragon on it.
Yeah.
But I can also see how that's sexy.
But I feel like there needs to be, I don't know,
Like a sexy man standing in front of the dragon?
sexy man, or that's his tattoo.
Oh, sexy dragon tattoo.
Right? Like that kind of thing. This screams like, okay, you want to know what this cover says to me? 15-year-old male fantasy novel.
Oh, I don't get that at all.
Like, because of the dragon.
Yeah, but it's not the right kind of dragon.
Okay.
This is a dragon in mid-flight. I don't know.
It's also...
I think I'm biased because I know that she writes that kind of literature.
My other issue with this cover is this is clearly an Asian-style dragon with Western-style wings coming off of it. And it bothers me because I'm, like, a dragon
Maybe
person.
he's a shifter hybrid, Jen.
Take your book.
Is this mine? Do I get the point for this one? Or is this something we don't know?
I don't want... I don't want to give you a
I think
point.
I'm gonna post this on Facebook and
Yes.
see if people think they're sexy or not.
Yes. All right.
Okay, we got two more.
All right, we got two more. Okay. Seconds to Live.
You picked another scary one?
See, now she knows what's coming. And there is a woman on it, and she is not facing us again. And she's on like a highway looking off into the distance.
Could
It's
be sappy.
raining.
Oh, this could be sappy. Except it's gonna be like a murder scene in the background. Oh yeah, it looks kind of sad. How is this like romance? This looks scary.
So describe to them.
Okay, so this woman is wearing a yellow like raincoat, and she's on a street that's empty except for one car that's driving towards her with like its blaring lights. And the font of Seconds to Live looks like shattered glass. Like it's really blocky, but then there's like a shattered glass print over it. And there's like scary trees. Like I feel like if it had different fonts, that could seem sappy.
Okay.
Get rid of the font and get rid of the car. She's a sad woman on a highway.
Yeah, but she's not a sad woman on the highway.
She looks like she's sad.
She's a sad woman who either just committed a murder or is about to get murdered.
Shall we leave the description? Oh my god. Wildlife biologist Mac Barrett avoided his hometown of Scarlet Falls for years. Too many bad memories. But when he receives the news that his father is dying, he rushes home only to discover he's too late. Shaken, Mac retreats to his remote cabin seeking peace and solace. Instead, he crashes his Jeep to narrowly avoid running over the naked body of a woman lying in the road. Even more disturbing, when she regains conscious, the body is gone. Oh, when he regains conscious. I thought the woman... Okay. Police detective Stella Dane wants to believe Mac, even if his story about the vanishing body seems far-fetched. But when Mac's description matches the missing woman she's been searching for, it raises a disturbing question. How did a dead body disappear? Mac and Stella will have to work together to find the answer and catch a psychotic kidnapper, and quickly. The killer has a deadly message to send, and the case is about to become personal. And then I assume they have sex.
See, what is interesting about this is I feel like maybe this is a new genre forming. It's the
Sexy cops?
sexy cops and like...
It's like a thriller, but then they meet each other along the way. It's basically what every cop show has done for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's now like a
romance trope.
Like, see, that's something I could see fitting more as a mystery novel with some romance in it. All right, I'll give you that one. That one. You stumped me on that one. So far I have 1.5 points.
So much for your theory.
I know.
All right, this one might be another gimme though. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we have 2 people on the cover.
Okay.
I think they look kind of sexy, but I have some.
Jenn's admitting to her kinks.
I think they look kind of sexy, and the title is Blade Bound.
Okay, this is a sexy one.
It's man and a woman. So, all right, ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Oh, they're some sort of hunters. Okay, so it's a man and a woman.
Hunters.
They're standing on the stairs of a big house, which big house could suggest sappy.
Yeah.
If my theory stands, but it's not. It's a sexy. Because she is in leather and tight pants and looking to the side, holding a sword over her shoulder, and he looks like Brad Pitt with a katana. He looks like Brad Pitt, doesn't he?
He does look like Brad Pitt.
It looks like they stole Brad Pitt's picture and like pasted it on this.
Yeah.
Blade Bound. It's a Chicagoland vampires novel. Yeah, this is a sexy. This is sexy vampire hunters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're both wearing clothes.
They're both wearing clothes, but like
fully clothed. Like she's not even like bosoms.
a little bit. She's got a little bit of bosom.
That's like way not bosoms. I've shown more bosoms in like my own pictures.
But this is like sexy hunting.
Yes, and I also like they look more like partners than they do like sex partners.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or siblings.
They look like they
Not
could
like
be both.
Not like Game of
Have you
Thrones.
read Game of Thrones? Okay.
Spoilers.
Oh, this is a final installment too, so maybe they're already established as a couple by this point.
Oh, they don't have to be all clingy anymore.
No, because this is a vampire hunting couple that's been together for years. They've kind of set into their ways. They don't go on date nights anymore. It's just about the work, and they go home. They're too tired. They go to bed. One of them has to get up with the kids before they go vampire hunting. This is a set in their ways vampire murdering couple.
This is like that's probably way better than what the actual description is. I would read that. So read the description.
Okay, the thrilling final installment of Chloe Neal's New York Times bestselling urban fantasy series sees sinister sorcery advancing across Chicago and might usher in the fall of Cadogan House. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that.
Apparently,
so that suggests it's a fantasy series with romance in it. But there's probably sex in it, and that's why I throw it in romance, because you can't have sex in other books. Since the night of her brutal attack and unwilling transformation into a vampire, Merritt has stood as sentinel and protector of Chicago's Cadogan House. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. She saved the Windy City from the forces of darkness time and again with her liege and lover Ethan Sullivan by her side. See? Established. When the house is infiltrated and Merritt is attacked by a vampire who seems to be under the sway of dark magic, Merritt and Ethan realize the danger is closer than they could have imagined. As Malgan's sorcery spreads through the city, Merritt must go to war against supernatural powers beyond her comprehension. Is her last chance to save everything and everyone she loves. Yeah, so this is I'd say this is more fantasy than romance.
But from the cover, would you give it does it fit into your romance novel?
I think this is sexy. This is sexy sci-fi.
It is.
And that's the problem with trying to categorize books, especially something like romance, where sci-fi has tropes. It's, aliens and space, and fantasy has tropes, monsters and dragons. Mystery, someone dies, there's a thing to uncover. Romance is a thing that everyone can experience.
Yes.
So it can be easily combined with other things. And this is a book that someone who's into science fiction but also wants some sex in it is going to pick up.
Probably.
This is not, I think, aimed towards your main romance market. And I guess neither is the Sherilyn Kenyon book or any of these murder books. So you stumped me, Jen.
Did I stump you?
I got what, 2.5 points. We split it pretty evenly. So we found a couple outliers.
I'm going to give you a solid 2.5 points.
2.5 points.
Yeah.
Halfway there. So that's kind of weird that we've also discovered this secondary or this other kind of this fourth S scary romance where I'm assuming someone is murdered, then you have to cling to your lover for dear life.
Yes.
Which that is, you're supposed to take your date to a scary movie so that they'll hold on to you. Maybe that's the point.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't like it.
Somebody's king.
Okay, I'm gonna go through this pile that Jen just got me, and we categorize these: mystery, fantasy. One of these is romance.
That's awesome.
The one that I got right, no questions asked.
That's great. But see, and once again, can we judge a book by its cover?
I would not think, with the exception of the sappy Amish one.
Buried Secrets.
If I just looked at these 4 covers, they did not have a romance sticker on the side of them, I would not think any of these were romance novels.
See? So just so you know, people who are doing these covers, especially Montlake Romance,
That's weird.
like this
They
is
did
your
both of these?
thing.
Yeah, they did both of them. Both of the scary romance ones are from the same publishing company.
So that must be their thing.
Their thing.
But your thing is getting you miscategorized.
Yeah.
So be aware of
You
that.
know what, you can
maybe
have-
just change your font.
Yeah, these are scary fonts.
Yeah, no, anyone.
You can have romance in a scary book.
Yeah.
You can have romance in a murder mystery.
Make the cop a little sexier. Let us see her.
Yeah.
Let us see her face and let her be like sexy.
This is so sappy, this Amish novel. That's a sappy. That's a sappy. So I learned my lesson. I found. But okay, a lot of them fit those 3 things, though.
Yes.
At least the prominent, I think, romance authors fit into
Yes,
those categories.
I will give you that. And you're going to get a chance to do the same thing to me in a future podcast.
Yes.
Because fantasy is my thing and
Mhm.
sci-fi are my thing. And I think we're going to do it with science fiction.
Yes.
Specifically, because we'll also talk about why fantasy and sci-fi need to not be in the same category.
Oh yeah.
But we'll do it with science fiction, and I'll tell you what I think my tropes are for it, and
I'll bring you ones that
you
aren't
can bring me
that.
ones that aren't
It's
that.
I think it's going to be a little more difficult because we, where we work, they do lump them together. Most local bookstores will lump them together.
Yeah.
So I got to do more research into what is the difference between sci-fi and fantasy.
Spaceships.
Spaceships. And there's a lot more to it. I would even argue that, well, I don't know, vampires and stuff, they kind of ride that line for
That's
me.
totally fantasy, unless they're created by some kind of science. But we're totally sidetracking.
Zombies are science fiction,
Yeah.
but vampires are fantasy. It's a weird line.
Well, but not voodoo zombies.
Oh, those
And
are
not
fantasy.
ice zombies.
Anyway,
Anyway.
dragon zombies.
I'm totally getting sidetracked.
Depends on what the zombies came from, magic or virus.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, but that'll be on a future episode.
Yes.
And hopefully the next one, though, I will be talking about the Dalai Lama's cat.
Yes, that'll be our next upcoming episode.
Get a little more spiritual.
And Jen's doing another book with an animal on the cover.
I like animals.
Mine technically didn't have an animal. It had a naked man on it.
Oh, he's
so.
an animal already.
So that'll be our next episode. In the meantime, please follow us on all of our socials. We are on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube at Casing the Cover. Leave us a comment, share us, promote us. We are not afraid to ask for that. We are a fledgling podcast. We need all the help we can get if you enjoyed it.
Yes.
And anything else, Jen, before we go?
Thank you for listening, and hopefully we will have these book covers up and
Yes.
a Facebook post and a Twitter post.
We'll put them up. Tell us what you think of these, how
Yes.
you would categorize them when it comes to whether or not they look like a romance novel, and if so, which of the 4 S's they fit into. Sappy, sweet, sexy, or scary.
Nice. So she's
All right.
making herself a little. Anyway, bye from Jen.
Bye.